What up? What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new live stream. Now, today we've got a pretty important one. It's the one that we were supposed to be doing, as of about a week ago. So we're touching on touching on Quant Network today, and there's some pretty big news. So I do want to, get a little bit into this today and see what you all think about it. Now, you've seen the thumbnail, you've seen the title. So I've given a bit of it away already, but there's a bit more to the story than initially might meet the eye, okay? It's probably even bigger than what you think. And yes, sometimes it's hard with crypto because a lot of us don't really want to look deep into the connections for things. A lot of us just want to see, seeing is believing. What's in front of our eyes is what's happening. But this is very evidently hey, if you don't want to believe it, you're stupid, right? It's just right in front of our eyes. So Quants, this is one of the reasons why I'm so bullish on this project, just because it's fantastic. And this is going to show you why. But first of all, let me just say my greetings to everyone that's currently in the chat. Welcome, Bryden, Scott, Earth. Hey, good to see you, Earth. Jenko's off topic about how do you fund cryptos. Yeah, we can touch on that later. Julius, what's up, brother? Tree. Wow, broke out the Yanks hat. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much the only hat I own, to be honest with you. The other one I used to wear to gym all the time, and it's completely just dilapidated. Eyes look glassy. Yeah, man, I had a fat rip of no sleep last night, so that's exactly why. It's hard when you delegate so many tasks to different people, because you'll give a whole heap of you'll give. I don't want to kind of point fingers here, but you'll provide resources to someone a week in advance, and they'll only try to do it the day of. And of course, when you do things the day of, there's always implications that pop up. So I had to wake up in the middle of the night to do something for last night's video. It's just, and so I'm a bit tired, but what's going on, everyone? No, there's no excuses. We're getting into the news today. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. So, of course, in our usual fashion, we're going to touch on the news first, and then we're going to get into some of the questions momentarily. So, first of all, Bitcoin pumped a little bit overnight here. Okay, it was at about 27,100 when I did the live stream no more than 12 hours ago. Now it's at 27,900. So we're up $800 or so, which is cool. All right, the market's kind of, pretty well the same amount of green as what it was, 12 hours ago. So, of course, today's news, we're touching on Quant. Now, luckily for us that followed the $5,000 portfolio we're doing, we managed to get in Quant, I think at about $90. So we're up a little bit here. Of course, it's a tomato. We're up what? Maybe about 2%. I mean, it's something, right? Count your blessings. So Quant's up a little bit, but that obviously not because of this news. Because this news isn't. How can I say? Recent. It somewhat is. It's definitely within the last 2 weeks recent. Okay, but hasn't been touched on as far as I'm concerned. And there was no massive pump 2 weeks ago. So again, this kind of falls back into the thing where people just don't really want to look this deep into stuff. And again, this isn't that deep in my opinion. In my opinion, personally, this is writing on the walls. Okay, so what is the news? Now we're going to have to kind of touch on the more recent news first, and then tie it in here towards the end. Okay, so BIS signed historic agreement to promote financial inclusion with innovative technology. Now, some of you guys know what these, institutions are, right? IDB, Inter-American Development Bank, and the BIS, Bank of International Settlements. Okay, so at surface level, that doesn't really mean too much. I'm going to get into what that actually means and how Quant's related to both of these projects in a second here. But let me just explain to you what's come about here about 2 weeks ago. So the Inter-American Development Bank, or IDB for short, and the Bank of International Settlements today signed their first ever collaboration agreement to promote financial inclusion in Latin America and the Caribbean through innovative financial technology instruments. The historic agreement signed by the IDB president, blah, 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 will enable the development of innovative financial public goods. It will also enable technical assistance and training in the financial technology studies and sharing of best practices. So, let me continue. Hold off here for a second. The first project under the agreement is the Fully Scalable Settlement Engine, or FUSSY for short, right? It offers central banks open source technology that will facilitate and enhance payment systems, as well as respond to the bank's needs in various markets, such as securities, clearing, and settlement. So this is big. This is really, really big here. In addition to responding to the technical needs of specific central banks and other interested parties, the IDB/BIS effort will make it possible to advance the harmonization of regional market practices and regulatory convergence, providing a regional public good, amplifying the scale of the market, and resolving relevant issues such as remittances. Big, big, big problems it's trying to solve here, okay? But again, this might not mean all too much. First of all, who is IDB? Who is the IDB? Let's touch on this.
IDB Group has been the leading...
I don't know if you guys can really hear this too well.
...source of development finance for the Latin American and Caribbean region, and a key partner for companies, governments, and others seeking to do business and advance sustainable development in its member countries. Through the Inter-American Development Bank, which lends $12 billion annually on average, the IDB Group conducts research and provides countries with sovereign loans, grants, and technical assistance to help governments drive social, economic, and institutional progress. Through its entity for the private sector...
And it goes on from there. Provides economic support is what it really does, okay? And obviously you guys know what the BIS is, right? The Bank of International Settlements. So the BIS is a central bank to 63 other central banks, and it shows them all here. There's plenty of them. Australia is one of them, so on and so forth, okay? So this was the other report released from the BIS. So the IDB released this report on the 14th. Of course, the BIS report, proposed their own report on the 14th as well, just kind of announcing the work. Again, their first collaboration between them is on Project FUSSY, right? The Fully Scalable Settlement Engine, or FUSI, however you want to pronounce that, right? So yeah, some pretty big stuff because, again, we're going to tie this into Quant in a second here. It's right in front of our eyes. You just have to, again, read the writing on the walls. So there's some pretty big stuff happening here, okay? So let's move on now to how this relates to Quant. So, well, actually, maybe we'll touch on how this relates to Citi first, because that's kind of the premise, right? So Citi completes cross-border payment pilot back in April of 2021 using LacChain. So what is LacChain? Well, LacChain is a consortium enterprise network, a blockchain network created by IDB. Right, so again, IDB recently partnered with the BIS. So there you go. So Citi completed cross-border payment pilot using LacChain. Okay, so there is some rumors that that Citigroup is effectively helping create and build the Latin American dollar. Okay, and this has been news that's been kind of murmured again a couple of years ago now. And as you guys know, these things don't just kind of progress overnight. These are very much years in the making type things. But we do hear murmurs across the walk. Okay, here's the official report from the IDB. Again, the IDB created the LacChain network, and a lot of you guys are going to hear the word LacChain now and instantly know about Quant. But again, hold off here for a sec. April 2021. So this document describes the proof of concept developed by the IDB Lab, LacChain, Citi Innovation Labs, and blah, 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 to demonstrate cross-border payments between entities in different countries that involve currency exchange using digital money represented by tokens, tokenized money in the LacChain blockchain network. For this proof of concept, Citi played the role of the bank holding the funds. So Citibank has been quite intimately used within this LacChain IDB sort of, and at this point you can also include the BIS, of course, because the BIS is going to enable this sort of network from what it looks like they're building here to connect with the wider economic market, if you will. Okay, so this is again ties into Quant here momentarily, but September 19th, so 5 days after the report came out from the BIS and the IDB working together, Citi unveiled its digital asset solution with the its new blockchain network, its private network, okay? So Citi Treasury and Trade Solutions, or TTS, launched its new digital asset service, Citi Token Services, aimed at enhancing cash management and trade finance for their institutional clients. This innovative service leverages blockchain and smart contract technologies. It's crazy how much these guys are using, crypto tech. We've seen that the BIS is looking at, leveraging AMM technology, integrating tokenized deposits and smart contracts into Citi's expansive global network. Okay, cool. So we come over to, so what this sort of means so far is we have IDB and the BIS working with the blockchain infrastructure, LacChain, in Latin America to further develop their, I guess, in a way, underneath the surface, the Latin American dollar, but also just boost the economy, okay? Make things more transparent. And one of the reports, I actually am not going to show it today, but I read a report before that stated, I think it was from someone from the BIS, might even been the head honcho himself, that Latin American banks and the overall, I guess, environment over there, it's moving a lot faster than what it is in Western countries. Actually, they said that all this new tech has actually reduced inflation, okay? Or at least to some degree. Now, I'm not going to obviously go into how that works, but I did read it, black and white. I really wish I kept the report up here. But nevertheless, what they're doing is obviously working. And it's interesting because I think we'll see things like this progress first in Latin American countries, which is what's actually happening, than what it will in the West, right? But here's how it ties into quant. So let me just show you this video that was published back in 2021, 2 months after Citigroup's initial murmurs of working with LacChain. This is from Gilbert himself.
One of the biggest things that we're doing is we're actually creating the Latin American dollar, and that's quite exciting. So this is with the Inter-American Development Bank over in Washington. They've created a LacChain consortium, which is the Latin America chain, and they asked us to participate and bring our technology to Latin America. And what that does is it allows us to interconnect the region. So all the countries that we're working with, initially 12 countries, will be using the Overledger technology to create an interbank network between all the different countries in the regions, and then create remittance and payment corridors between the US and Latin America. And so what this means is businesses and citizens and people on the ground will be using the Latin American dollar to trade and create commerce, which is a lot more efficient. It's a lot.
Some pretty big stuff, right? Just give me one sec, guys. I just get notifications over here from the team, and I do not want that to disturb the flow. Here we go. My apologies. So yeah, you heard it from the man himself, right? The man himself literally said, as Crypto Nerd, we are creating the Latin American dollar. Okay, again, using the LacChain network created by the very people, IDB, that are essentially supporting the economic growth in the Latin American environment, in the Caribbean, I guess you could say, right? Pretty big stuff. And now, obviously, you know that Quant has had a pretty intimate connection with the BIS, because in Project Rosalind, which was a big report conducted between a whole heap of different vendors, well, I shouldn't say vendors, what do they actually call themselves? API user groups, Amazon, Bank of Canada, Barclays, and MasterCard, as well as whatever this company is, testing things like payments with MasterCard, bank-to-bank transfers, Barclays, obviously central bank to central bank transfers through Bank of Canada, because this was done in collaboration with the Bank of England, and also Amazon, testing what would happen in an actual economical environment, right? What would happen if people were paying for services and stuff. So Quant was used and named with one of its partners as well, UST. And so it's quite interesting, right? Because we have over here like this infrastructure that Quant is a part of with LacChain. For those who don't already know, this is Quant's website. This is the Quant Partners website. As you can see, our partners. LacChain is one of those such partners that has been here for a while, and you heard it from the man himself, right? So obviously, Quant is being leveraged in every which way along this journey. Now, obviously, Quant's not named because Quant is a white label service. You don't have to actually say, hey, we're using Quant technology, Quant's da-da-da. No, they don't even have to mention Quant whatsoever. So you've got these massive, I guess you could say, entities, IDB and the BIS, coming together, leveraging the technology that's going to support all this this evolution of their sort of financial system, and Quant's a part of that evolution. It's some pretty big stuff, and this is right in front of our eyes. So if you're disregarding this, if you're thinking to yourself, Chiron's kind of clutching at a straw here and there, it doesn't really makes sense, but it's too good to be true. Who are the one that's going to be buying when I'm selling? That's as simple as what it is here. So this is why I say when we look at projects like Quant Network, this is a sort of project that we can, and again, I've actually deleted the tab that I wanted to show you guys. This is why I talk about, buying the projects again in the next bear market that will stand the test of time, that will break through the barriers when regulation comes in, and the crypto market will probably end up, for the most part, dying, as we know, a crypto market because of regulation. And I believe there's going to be a massive crash at that point as well, which will pull down a lot of projects too. So here's kind of I've just got it up on the side here. Here's what I wanted to show you guys. Now, again, I've shown you this in many, many videos. I actually have a whole video going on just this for Quant. But, I talk about buying back in down over here for 2030 rather than holding for 2030. Anyway, that's the whole thing. But what do you guys think of this news? It's some pretty big stuff. So Scott says, partnerships usually don't affect the price though. How will they actually be using the Quant token that will increase the price? Good question, Scott. So yeah, obviously if news always correlated to positive or negative price action, then Quant would be at $1,000 already. But the only thing is, so news is one thing. Again, it has to be applicable, has to be memeable. People have to understand. It has to be pushed out by the masses. If another 10 YouTubers heard what I've just said and were like, I'm buying 20 more Quant because of this news, then you're going to get the mass market going, oh my God, look at all these YouTubers buying more Quant. I better buy Quant. That'll push the price up, definitely. So the way that price moves from here, and what we're looking at, is utility. Quant is a utility token. The QNT token is for utility, right? And so this news will, when it's all actually implemented, and we probably won't even be actually told it's implemented, it's a white label service. The QNT token is used, can be used for transaction fees, right? I'm pretty sure, you can obviously pay for things in stable coins and fiat, not stable coins. But I'm fairly certain it is convertible back to QNT for settlement. Right, it's converted back to QNT for settlement, even though you can pay in USD, for example. Also, for licensing, you need it for licensing. So these countries or central banks and large institutions and these entities will be licensing the QNT technology. And the way that licensing works, as far as I'm concerned, and also at least the maps that can be built on top of Quant, so multi-chain applications, essentially businesses that leverage networks on Quant. I'm 90% certain, I definitely know it's for maps, but I'm 90% certain it's also the same for licensing. It works based on how big the entity is that's using it and how much traffic will come through, or one of the two, or both. So that's how it's kind of will create positive price action, right? It's through the actual use, aka the utility provided by the QNT token. So again, this news will go under people's noses, but how we take advantage is go, okay, well, obviously Quant is going to be leveraged. It's going to be used in some pretty big environments. We're talking about, you can't get bigger than this. So that's where the price will come and appreciate. So friendly neighborhood taxpayer. I love that name, man. Hello, what's going on? Yeah, smash the like button up, guys. 124 people in here. I'd really appreciate it if you guys smash the like button. It takes 2 secs out of your day, and it helps me out tremendously. So I really appreciate that a lot. Thank you all for being here nonetheless. Joda says, Chiron NIA, SEC. Yeah, man, I think the whole SEC thing with NIA being listed, it will probably blow over because we have XRP fighting for us in that sense, right? If you will. Quant is safe from the SEC. Here's the thing that's mysterious about Quant. It actually completely scrubbed all ties to having like this token, right? If you look at its website, from what it used to be, if you watch videos from people posting about Quant years ago, you'll see the website had things like their white paper and their token economic schedule and all about the QNT token itself and da. But they've scrubbed it. They've taken it down. Why? Because they know, all right? They know that this is what's next. You got to remember, all right, Gilbert is someone who literally founded an ISO standard. Gilbert is still, I don't know the technical word for it, but he still collaborates a lot of the stuff that happens in that standard, right, which is the interoperability blockchain standard, essentially, right? And for those who don't know, ISO is like the universal, I guess you could say, standard of operations. That's not what it actually stands for, but ISO are like standards created and then implemented, right? So the banking code of practice, things like that can be sort of along the lines of an ISO sort of standard, but for technology. And so that's pretty big. He's also worked at some massive companies, including Her Majesty's Treasury. So this, and over here in government. So he's got connections. And if you guys know anything about life, it's all about connections, right? If you know the right people, I mean, hell, I've seen some crypto channels where there's some guys on there hosting it, some big channels, and they've been in crypto for like a year or two. They don't and they don't know much about crypto, but they're just on there. I think I saw what's his name? Carl the Moon. He had like one of his co-hosts was like in crypto for like a year or two, if that. And because it's who you know, and then that's how you can get exposure. So just like Quant, Gilbert knows a lot of people. Very, very powerful team. And so they know, like, okay, so to answer your question, Mysterious, I believe that they will most definitely be safe from the SEC. They are working with massive players here to where, like, this is why I'm kind of scared, right? And I know everyone in this video is obviously a Quant fan, and so am I. Like Quant is my second favorite holding behind project behind HBAR. The only thing with Quant is because they're working with the people who literally run the world. It's like, why do they actually need the smart contract? It's for settlement purposes. That makes sense. For what is public networks good for? What's the public network in crypto actually good for? Well, it's good for transparency. Okay, it's good for reliability. It's good to just for people to see, hey, our transactions. This represents our transaction, right? When I get paid from sponsors, what do? Or paid from anyone for that fact. What do? They send me over the transaction code for that payment. So they say, hey, look, I can just show you right now, this transaction code shows I've paid you from my address to your address. And so it's all very clear. And that's what blockchain's good for, right? Transparency reasons. Will Quant move from ETH to Hedera? Well, Mark of Melbourne, I don't think so, because so Quant doesn't need to have a fast settlement layer. Quant doesn't have to have this sort of hyper fast like Quant runs all these transactions at like instant finality because it's just a private network essentially on Quant, and then it just batches them up and then it sends it off to Ethereum in batches. And that could take days to settle. It doesn't matter for Quant. That's not important. The important part is getting what they run correct, and it's fine. It's perfect. So I don't see them moving to any other network. And the thing with Ethereum is, for Quant, they're going to stay on the network that's the number one dog. They're going to stay on the network that people are using, and they're going to stay on the network that people associate with, right? So that the next thing down from Bitcoin is Ethereum. I could see them maybe moving to Polygon, but because that would be probably a pretty seamless process, but that might not happen. It's not needed. It's not really needed. Maybe if they wanted to save some fees, I guess that would kind of make sense. But again, we're not talking much here. Kumar says, I have a 100 QNT. Congratulations, mate. That's awesome. That's some really good stuff, man. Scott says, Kyron, you need to look into Chili's niche market. Sports market is huge and Chili's has no competition. I think realistically it could 40x from now. Probably. Yeah, probably. I think so. I haven't looked into Chili's, but that definitely makes sense. Chili's was kind of big in the last bull run, right? There was a whole thing about Chili's. I just haven't really been interested in looking into it, bro. Like, for me, I'm kind of stuck with the projects I've got. At least this is talking from personally, like what I'm looking for in a project to invest in myself. But that could be something that is, it's always good to diversify a little bit because you're in Chile. It's a bit of a meme, a bit of sports, as you said. So, you know. So friendly neighborhood taxpayer is literally doing my job for me, man. I appreciate it a lot. Anyone that's not in the Discord server, hop in. 100% agree. You guys need to jump in there because that's where, again, we've got a lot under construction right now, but it's getting closer and closer every week. And you will most definitely benefit from being in there with discounts, specials, just have everything faster than what comes out on YouTube. And then Twitter's probably on that card as well. So, but definitely Discord, you're getting the alpha in there. So, yeah, guys that are joining me for the first time in here that haven't really heard the first part of this stream touching on the news. Again, I'm not going to go over it again for all the people that are watching this post-live. But essentially, it's some pretty big news, and I highly suggest you just stay in the chat now, listen live. But definitely watch back the start of this live stream because you definitely need to know about this news. This news is, again, stuff that people like to talk about what's tangible, what they can see in front of their face that is confirmed black and white. This is as black and white as you're going to get without actually saying, we're using quant price, go up. Okay? This is the closest you're going to get to it. Or without, quant actually saying, hey, we're actually a part of this, what's going on, we're a part of it. So it's quant is leveraged in both huge parties that are coming together to essentially build the economic, let's just say framework for Latin America, because Latin America, as we all know, unfortunately, doesn't have the best history when it comes to, anything financial. And I say that with all due respect. I mean, I'm sure people from over there will know what I'm talking about, right? It's not necessarily the most friendly to those who are savers in stable coins and want, the best out of the market, essentially. Actually, my thumbnail design is from Brazil. So yeah, guys, let me go back full screen here. Who's got any questions? Let's hear it. Ideally, if you got any quant questions, now the time's to ask because it's a quant stream. But we can definitely move in any direction you might wish. That's fine. How can I get on Discord? Good question. Let me just jump in Discord real quick. I did just decide to close everything because I thought notifications popping off all the time is probably going to be quite annoying. All right, people. I'll drop it in the chat. If you want to join the Discord, most definitely, you are going to be missing out. I promise you that. I promise you'll be kicking yourself. It's completely free. You don't have to pay anything. Raw Helm says, way too long getting to the point. I'm out. See, people like that, I feel sorry for you, Raw Helm. I mean, I don't think so, man. We've been live. I mean, I got to the point in 20 minutes, and it was a lot to cover. Anyway, his loss. Is it possible for BTC to hit 20K before going to the next bull run? To the next run? I mean, look, honestly, man, I'm kind of expecting that a little bit. I think around 20K would be reasonable for like a reasonable size drop before we move up. That would be something that I could see happening, not instantly, but it would probably happen over about a week or so. And then I think kind of like we saw with 2021, we saw with, COVID, it kind of was coming up and it crashed and then it corrected. But if you kind of cancel out the correction, it would have been this nice increase to the first run up. So I think, I think that, 20K would kind of like repeat. But this is the thing, like, it would be kind of cool to have that like crash before we the final run up, the big crash, should I say? It would kind of be like reminisce of back in 2021, but I'm not banking on it completely. I'm not like holding off right now, thinking to myself, this is going to happen. If it doesn't happen, I'm just going to have to buy in at higher prices. So I just got some cash ready on the side for it. Are you really a Yankees fan? Shannon says, honestly, I've watched baseball once. We went to the stadium. We went over to America like many years ago now and I watched like maybe half an hour of I think it was Red Sox versus Yankees. And I'm not going to lie, baseball ain't it for me. It's just not entertaining enough. American sports, I think, with all due respect, guys, because I know a lot of you are from the US, a lot of US sports for me are just not too entertaining. What do you think caused the latest price drop in QNT? I just think people, I've got no idea, man. I didn't hear any murmurs of anything. I just think people maybe wanted to sell. I mean, we don't really know, do we? It could have been an insider group. I mean, it could have been a whale or two saying, "Hey, let's just drop it 3, 4, 5%," and then a bit of a capitulation happened, and that's what brought it down. And they bought more. I don't know. Anything could happen in crypto. We're talking about a project with a $1.2 billion market cap, or a 1.1 billion. So you don't need that crazy. There is definitely whale groups out there that are like 20, 30 people in size, all with like many millions each, like over 8 figures, maybe even 9 figures worth of crypto. And why wouldn't you? If you were a multi-millionaire who had that much money and had the connections, and you were just completely in it for the greed, you would be looking to do things like that. It just makes sense. And they're out there. They're out there. I've seen screenshots before. What's my prediction on Quant? Naz, good question, man. My prediction for Quant, I think for the portfolio here, for the 5,000 portfolio, we're getting out at about $742, I think was the magic number it came to. That was a 10 billion market cap with a rough increase in supply. I think actually maybe the same supply. Yeah, a rough increase in supply. We were saying about 14,500,000 tokens in supply, about 10.5 billion market cap, which was about a 742. That's when we're taking our initial investment out. And so my overall prediction for Quant would be anywhere between $3,000 to $4,000. I actually agree with my price prediction sheet on this. I can't say this for every single project on my price prediction sheet because this was excluding all the external factors I like to contribute. This was just simply market dominance previously, now, and medium, maximum growth for the overall market. And Quant came out to $3,900. It's a 44x. Again, that'd be the top, right? That'd be like extreme. I think that'd be like towards the top, but that might not even happen. So that's why you got to prepare yourself and have your exit plan in place. I'm actually coming up with a video tonight. You guys are going to really enjoy this video. The video I have planned for tonight is going to be the most comprehensive exit strategy video you've ever seen. It's just going to have everything you need to know in there, and it's going to be based on the $5,000 portfolio. So you guys are going to absolutely love it. It's going to really help a lot of you out. So Frizzy says, do you see QNT slash the market dropping back down to where we just were a week ago? If so, when do you think? To be honest, man, we weren't that low. Like, we were $86. So, it's about what, $4, $5 from where we are right now. I don't know. It was such an irregularity, right? It just kind of came crashing down. But yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because look at this. I don't know why it peaked so much for. I guess people maybe those whales were buying. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we came back down again. Simi, finally made it live. Welcome. 3,400 per Quant. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? I am sure about that, brother. See, because one thing you have to understand, bro, is that it all depends on the global market cap. So, bro, this was completely just based off numbers, man. This was completely based on numbers. So, you know, we can work it out. Like, what is a $4,000 quant? That's a 58 billion market cap. Now, that's quite a lot, man. That's quite a lot. But I could see that being at the top of quant for sure. Like as an extreme top, I could see that. I could see that for sure. That's not out of the realm of possibilities to me. If I was saying 100 billion, maybe that'd be like, oh, yeah, I can kind of see. And again, remember, this is with the increase in supply. If we use the current, let's just say quant doesn't push any more tokens out. What is it, like just 12 million right now? That's 48 billion market cap. So, I mean, you can't tell me that's not possible. That's a 48x market cap. And when the bull run's bringing in potentially anywhere between 5 to 10 trillion dollars, this is but a blip in that, you know? You got to think about it like that. Like global market cap. I mean, people say XRP is going to 10x. Well, let me tell you right now, XRP 10xing, XRP 5xing. Oh, that's market dominance. XRP getting to... Okay, so we're talking about... What did it come out to? I think a 10x was like, well, whatever it is now, just multiply by 10, right? Easy. Okay, so again, including inflation, if you want to 10x the price, I think it came out to like $300 or $400 billion. So if you're telling me that XRP 10xing can do that, and people say it's going to do that, no problem, then I'm sorry, but Quant can most definitely 40x. It's a sleeping giant. It really is. Nicholas, I just want an extra 5 quant. Yeah, no, but I'm saying that, bro, because we think about, like, we punch some numbers, bro. Like, you know, you say $4,000 quant, you know, I have other people out there saying, oh, it's impossible to have that sort of price prediction. But, you know, I thought, like I just showed you then, man, like, you know, $4,000 quant, if the supply stayed the same, it's a 48 billion market cap. You know what I mean? Like, you think about it, like, BNB right now is sitting around that. And, you know, so we look at the last bull run. Here's a really good thing, guys. You know, you go to historic, if this wants to help you out. And by the way, no problem, Nick. No problem, man. Of course, I'm here to help you out. You know, sometimes it's just good to have people, like, either slap you left and right and say, look, this is the facts. But sometimes it's good just to hear the facts, right? So I get it. So, you know, let's just say, I don't even know, like, when was the top? Like, let's say September, around there anyway. Like, some of these projects were just nutty. This definitely was not the top. I think, it was the top for ADA, actually, 93 billion. And this was when the global market cap was at, sorry, my partner was just leaving. It was at, 3 trillion. So, you know, imagine now 5 to 10 trillion. Now, I don't think 10 trillion is going to happen. Let's be real. 10 trillion. They're cutting off on and off ramps. I don't think it's going to happen. That's pretty overzealous, if you ask me. Lone Wolfsy. Yeah, no problem with the upcoming video, man. Of course. I'm here to help. That's it. SOG, do you offer free and paid version of an exit strategy Excel spreadsheet? So SOG, yeah, good question, man. So I am doing some, my website should be created here, hopefully in the next few weeks. And within that, we're going to have like the exit strategies and price predictions. So we'll have like a much more comprehensive version of this with my actual price predictions, including this information. So you'll see it all, not on an Excel spreadsheet. It'll be much nicer. You guys will have access to that, plus many more altcoins that's consistently updated. Plus, you'll also have exit strategies. Now, why price predictions are important. People think price predictions are good to go, we've got, like, again, $4,000 quant. Like, it's first in my mind, $4,000 quant. So, okay, that price prediction is good because I'm going to roughly go around that and sell my tokens around that. No. Price predictions, you're on the right track. They're good for two things. Entry levels. So, okay, Minimum, we can say it's going to hit $1,000. Therefore, if we buy right now, that's about a 12x. I'm happy with that. Minimum, get my investment out. The rest, we can take it up. And that's important too, because if shit hits the fan, you can sell everything at the minimum level and get a 12x. You're happy with that still. Of course, the second thing is exit strategies. Now, on the website as well, I will have with all the altcoins like this, what I'll be doing for you tonight, for the video tonight, will be the exit strategy plan for the $5,000 portfolio on each altcoin. So you'll see it on each altcoin, how it differs, the benefit, how you exactly go about doing it, how you calculate it, so on and so forth. And that'll be done for you guys. So that's all taken care of. Will there be a free version of that? No. It's way too much energy putting into that for free. This was the free version for YouTube, but it's not going to be much. It's not going to be much at all. Buff Link, love your Discord community. Thank you so much, man. We've got a great group of people down there, and it just keeps getting better every day. Any chance to get these spreadsheets available in Discord? Yeah, most definitely. I'm stockpiling a whole bunch of AMAs, because after every live stream we do an AMA in the Discord chat. And I'm recording that. I'm building up information. Basically, everything that's on my Patreon right now, I'm going to bring over into the Discord eventually, and then have it all available. It's all under construction. There's so much we have to work on, but it's all coming. Good question. Good question. Aiming for a $3 XRP, says Scott. That's possible, Scott. That's possible. Because you know, see this spreadsheet you guys looking at here, like how you should really leverage this yourself, right? If you don't use anything on the spreadsheet apart from one thing, what you should use is the supply in Q4 of 2025, and then think to yourself, okay, what's the market cap realistically going to go to? Even if you just guess, right? This will give you some idea of what we're looking at for price. Even if you think to yourself, okay, XRP, my favorite project of all is XRP. I don't think, again, shouldn't hold any merit, but it's a good thought exercise. I see XRP max going to 150 billion. It's simple. You just take the future supply that I've provided here, and then you go 150 million divided by that, $2.45 token. Done. You know? Because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't factor in supply. A lot of people just use the current supply. And that's a big, scary thing. Because what happens in that case is, if you do that, your mark is... Let me just go full screen so you guys can see my pretty face. You go like this, and you set your mark up here. Okay, XRP is going to get to $10. You factor in inflation, and it actually goes to here now. And so realistically speaking, you might only get to, let's just say, $2, where now you've got your price set and all your exit strategies planned at $10. So you are missing dramatically the mark, and that curve, because of inflation, will screw you over. You can argue small inflation isn't really that important. Yes, 100%. But when you're talking about a product like XRP that is recently dumped, like what do they dump, like 1 billion worth of, or 1 billion tokens in one go on the market, that's an issue, because they're a for-profit entity, meaning they're looking to make money, meaning when the price goes up in their regular unlocks of their token, because the team currently holds all the tokens like Stellar, and the way that they've done it is it's in custody and it releases periodically for the XRP Ripple to make money. And so we're not doing over-the-counter trades. We're not bypassing the open market. We're actually selling into the open market, which means they're dumping on you to make money. That's completely healthy. Quant's done it. Other projects do it. And what I like about XRP and Quant is they do it publicly. They're transparent about it. Other companies aren't. So that in of itself is a good thing to know. That's all you need to know, in my opinion. But you do have to keep in mind that a lot of tokens will come out into the circulation. If it's an over-the-counter trade, those tokens haven't actually entered circulation yet, right? I know HBAR uses this sort of thing when they talk about their, what's it called, like unreleased supply. Unreleased supply with HBAR is classified as moving those tokens out of the, let's just say, treasury wallet and into the hands of someone that could theoretically dump whenever they want to. Well, that's kind of what we have to think of in this case, right? So over-the-counter trade, technically speaking, is releasing to supply, but until it's on the open market, there's, technically it's not. Technically it is. There's so much we can go into there. So be very careful in that case. So you definitely have these tokens being released on a very regular scale. Now, Ripple doesn't actually... So Ripple might get $1 billion worth of their token every quarter, for example, but most of the time they don't actually sell all those tokens. They'll just sell what is needed to continue running the company, both, just in the last quarter, for example, and what's expected in the next quarter before the next payment. So, yeah, and it's needed, right? So it's just normal. But I just wanted to point that out for everyone. Era, join the Discord fam. Let's go, man. It's a great community, but most importantly, a lot of you guys aren't going to spend time in the Discord chatting to people. I get it. But what it's really important for is getting the alpha that will come in the next few months, especially when this course drops. There's going to be a massive discount given to people in the Discord. So, and I want to say, guys, we have 170 people. I want to say thank you so much for being here. Over here in Australia, it is a public holiday, at least for Queensland, where I live. So I know a lot of you guys are probably just sitting back, relaxing. You guys are from the US, maybe even from Europe, okay? So thank you all for being here. I really appreciate that a lot. So Jenko's talking about a potential drop. I have 80K in the market, buying $5,000 on the side. Just don't like the idea of buying higher, but the X's will be far amount higher if it drops, so it's a gamble. Yeah, that's right. Here's the thing. Like I like to say, having 20% of funds on the side of your whole entire portfolio in the market is a good thing. Because if you can, then you can inject 10% if it drops, but you still hold that 10% for the worst, for a big drop. And worst case comes to worst, guys. If you don't, none of us are going to extract every single cent we possibly can out of the market. None of us will. And I will bet a lot of money on that right now. If someone wants to put money in a custody, I guarantee you none of us in this chat are going to make the money that we wish we did. I want to make, 7 figures out of this market. It's not going to happen, right? Well, I shouldn't say 7. I mean 8 figures out of the market. 7 figures is probably more realistic for how much I'm putting into it. But again, realistically, I could make 8 figures, but I'm not going to execute everything to perfection. And if so, I would be considered a friggin' god, right? Because that's unheard of. So you do have to play things safe, and that's where exit strategies come into play. And that's where having a bit of money on the side, for you, Jenko, you have $80,000. Let's just say $16,000 is what you probably should have on the side. And so there's no good DCA opportunities for you on your altcoins today or the week or the month, whenever you're supposed to DCA. Put it in your holdings. It is a bit of a gamble holding too much, like you say, but in my opinion, it's probably a safer play. The risk to reward is greater because you still have that money on the side in 2027 if the market dives. Zilla's in the chat. Let's go. Day one. What's up, brother? Do you still is Binance US? Oh, do you still use Binance US? I just went back to it because of the OCO function. Hopefully they don't fell lower. Yeah, look, honestly, man, I don't really use. I'm don't use Binance US. Obviously, I just use Binance.com. I have used them to purchase. So, guys, for those who don't know, we're doing a $5,000 portfolio, and I did my first DCA. So I used Binance to purchase those tokens because it's the most liquid market, and it's just the one I have already KYC'd on, okay? So I don't really use Binance. I don't store any crypto in Binance anymore. I actually store my crypto and my stable coins in a Australian regulated exchange brokerage. Okay, but we're doing a $5,000 portfolio, and we're giving it away in 2025. I just don't know if I'm going to give the tokens away to someone. Here's all the tokens, and the total value of all these tokens is, $250,000, or if it's much better if I just sell, guarantee that person or, whoever it is, $250,000, or it might even blow up to 350,000. So if you guys don't know about that, we are doing the giveaway. So if you want to catch up to speed, the best way to do that is in the Discord. So yeah, I want it to be the biggest giveaway in crypto to make my whole year. So Kumar says, how can I access the spreadsheet? So this Google spreadsheet right here, brother, I've done a video on my channel. Oh, please don't come up anything else. Okay, so the video that is yonder. 30 plus altcoin. Oh, wait, you guys can't even see. 30 plus altcoin, accurate crypto altcoin predictions. This one here. This has the spreadsheet. Here it just here, right? So go ahead there and access that one. Love your streams, bro. Just tuning in. Thank you, man. That's great. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming and joining me on your, I'm sure, very busy schedule. I know everyone's got lives to live. Would you hold extra money in your USDT or BTC? I wouldn't want to hold extra money in BTC, no. Because as soon as you buy an asset like that, you are going to be taxed. You want to limit how much you're taxed. Like, I know from experience, like, how shitty it is to, like, finish the financial year and then be like, you go to the tax man, your accountant, and he's like, so, Kyron, you owe us $30,000. It's like, the fuck? I don't even have $30,000 right now to give you. So that's the worst thing. And you can imagine when it comes down to, holding in BTC, selling back into stables because it might not be a pair between the altcoin you want to buy in BTC. H-bar, there's no H-bar to BTC pair as far as I'm aware. So you have to sell your BTC into stables. You might have made some money on that, and then you're going to go in there and you buy H-bar again, and then you're taxed again. This all adds up, and so you don't want to be in the next financial year thinking to yourself, okay, well, I've got all this tax I have to pay now, and I don't have that, and it's just a mind melt. So it's actually like, so when I first got into crypto, I was someone who was like, tax, it's whatever. Like, it's just boring. Who wants to think about tax? To be honest, I didn't really understand it that well either. I had to do a fair bit of research on it. And when I got hit with that bill, I was like, I wish. I'm glad I learned that hard way, but it's not something I want for every one of you. Have I seen the movie Dumb Money? No, I actually haven't. We're living it, bro. We're living that movie right now, or about to anyway. Would you pay the tax if you sell? Yeah, you have to pay the tax, 100%. I mean, I'd prefer you guys pay the tax, man, than try to do anything dodgy. It's not worth it. Whenever we ball big, can we still use Coinbase to buy like $70,000 to $100,000 in a single transaction, or do we have to go institutional? No. You can use Coinbase for that. What are your thoughts on Moonwell? Yeah, I actually quite like Moonwell. Think it'll pump with Glimmer? I don't know pump directly with Glimmer, but I think it definitely will probably have its moment in DeFi. And it's an interesting project. So, and they recently revitalized it too. So yeah, Moonwell, not bad. Not bad. Take the money would suck to hand over tokens and someone fumble it. So that's it, right, Deal Bob, 100%. That's my thought. Okay, so I had someone the other day say, you just give the tokens to people, and I get that. If people want that, I can do that. But my idea is, if I can secure, like, again, $250,000, even if it's 150K, it's like, we're talking US here, by the way. That if I give that to someone who doesn't know how to exit, they're gonna fumble that and they're gonna ride that back down to where I started it. And it's like, where's the point in that? I think if I had that money, I could give that to someone and then they could use it straight away. The only issue is, who's paying tax on it? I'll be paying the tax on it, right? When you start to research, especially if you're new to crypto, you start to realize how underexposed you are compared to where you would like to be. Different for everyone. Yeah, 100%, Laurie. 100%. Would be cool to see you take profits live, showing a ladder sell exit. Yeah, so that's a good point. That'll definitely come when we get closer to the bull run. I'd love to do it more live. I'd love to show you what I'm working on the video for tonight. I really would love to show you guys that now. But obviously, I need to keep in mind that I've got to save some curiosity for the video. If you guys watch it now, you're not going to watch the video tonight. I'm really spending a lot of time doing it, but it's like so fun. Like, because here's the thing when you do exit, like I'm going to teach you tonight. If you can actually find these levels and you know how many tokens you buy now, what you can actually do is something super interesting. And actually, you know what? I will show you so it'd be the same sort of premise as I've done on a previous video with here, Cadena, right? This, you can actually work out at each level, $13, $16, oh, sorry, my bad. $13, $16, $19, and like selling at these levels, again, selling it, you know, I prefer to do the 25% quarterly method. You can go, okay, well, so we take our initial investment out. We had 20,000 KDA tokens. We take our initial 10K out. We still have 19,000 tokens. And then we sell, boom, 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 quarterly, hold the rest, and we profit like $210,000 just from the three. And we still have another quarter of that initial 19,000 KDA after the initial investment to just ride and sell and make even more money. So that's kind of the premise of what I'm going to tell you guys. The more you plan about this, you can already say, you can just literally sit back here. Everyone else is freaking out. When do I sell? Oh my God, is it going to pump? Is it going to dump? Is it what's going to do? Should I buy back in? And you're like, got your sell orders. You know exactly how much money you are making. It's all done for you. Yeah, so keep a note of every transaction for the tax year. That would be the best thing for you, man, because you use software, crypto tax calculator. You use what's another one, like Coinly or whatever. And while they're pretty good, you're gonna have a whole batch of transactions that they're like, what is this for? What is this for? We don't have the wallet for this. Can you link your wallet to this? What's this? What's this? And so having that, you know, even if you just pen and paper it, just pen and paper it. This is the best method in my opinion. It'll save you so much time and potentially lots of money too. Because if you claim that a transaction was for something that it wasn't for, or it might not get caught in the tax, you might, without realizing it, get taxed more for that. There's different things, yeah. Guys, we've been going for an hour now, and while I could literally sit here all day and talk with you all, maybe we should just end it here. Open a fund. I'll invest. To be honest with you, bro, I do have a few books on venture capital, and I did want to. My goal at one point in my crypto journey was to actually be a venture capitalist. Right? Be a fund manager. I think that'd be awesome. Lots of stress. But imagine having a team that you can build from the ground up and teach them how you look for investments, and then just every day look to invest. Just, you know, So I think I might probably do that. Make my money in crypto and then go back into traditional stocks, because I think crypto will end up dying. People hate me for saying that. People hate me for saying Bitcoin won't survive in the long term. People hate me for that, but I really do strongly believe I'm serious, and it's just like, so I'm trying to just like protect myself for my future. And so yeah, so where I was kind of getting with that is then, you know, being in traditional markets as a venture capitalist, a fund manager, or what do they call them? General partner. There's a lot of money that can be made there. And if I make like 8 figures, 9 figures in my crypto journey, which is definitely possible, you know, like, again, we use 2025 as a catalyst for the good projects for 2030 and beyond. That is where you'll make the big money, the 9 figures, right? Of course, you know, who wouldn't want to invest in someone's fund that's like, okay, well, I personally am worth 9 figures, right? Only stream for the night, Julius. That's it, brother. Only stream for the night. Kyron the Content Beast. I joined late. I'm going to go back and watch from the beginning. Yes, definitely watch back. This is a quant stream. I keep forgetting it's a quant stream, but I think we touched enough on quant to talk about. And do I think quant will die? No. Quant won't die, but I guess maybe I guess I should rephrase that. The QNT token as we know it, there's no, how can I say this? It's as easy to dissolve as just simply stop using the smart contract on Ethereum. It's that easy. So, but I don't think it'll die anytime soon. I'm willing to put my money back into it. I just thought, as someone who looks at all my investments from the light and the dark side, you have to take into consideration the potential dangers to see those warning signs if they ever come up, or see how they plan to fix them as they come up. Okay. We will leave now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for being here today, taking the time on your busy schedules. Now, look, if you haven't liked the live stream, you got to do that, all right? It takes 2 seconds, and it means a lot to me. But also, go to the pinned comment in the chat right now and join the Discord, guys. Again, there's so much value that will be created in there. You will most definitely benefit from that. It's completely free, all right? So there's no downside whatsoever. And we will talk to you all soon. I'll be back tomorrow. Same time. Let's kill it, guys. Let's go. All right. Talk to you all soon. Love you all. Take care.